I have to ask you about these protesters who've been out over the weekend protesting against Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And I just love this when reporters actually go out and speak to some of them, find out why they are there, why they're holding up the signs that they're holding, because some of them accidentally reveal that they have no idea what they're even protesting. Take a look at this.
So what makes Trump a fascist? What makes Trump a fascist?
He does things without
You gotta talk loud. I don't have my mic on.
I'm not really good into interviews.
Sorry?
He just does everything he wants, and not following laws, or he's a convicted felon. That's all I know.
What's that?
So neighbor gave me, yeah.
Who gave you that?
The people that gave me the sign. It's a free sign.
Oh, someone gave you the sign, and then they gave you the handout. So are you reading it now to try to answer the question?
Yeah, but I mean...
Can I see that? Can you hold that up?
I'm just not...
I'm just curious.
Maybe you can have it.
I can have it?
Yeah, you can have it.
Alrighty. So where did you get the sign?
All the way in the gatekeeper's house.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just pretty cool.
And that's another one? They gave you two pieces of paper?
Yeah.
Can I have that one too?
Yes, you can have both.
Oh, okay. So what brings you guys out here today?
Just because I saw people were hanging out with people.
Yeah, same thing as everyone else, executive overreach.
Because they're very angry about what's going on, about Trump and fascism trying to take this wonderful country with all these wonderful people, and there are great chants going on. Immigrants welcome here, trans people are welcome here, trans kids are welcome here. This is Massachusetts, kid. Get your hands off of it. All right, I'll say hi some more later, if I can manage to post this. Bye!
Yeah, it really gives you an insight into who these people are that are turning out at these protests, and some of them just have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, talk about a bunch of psychopaths. Psychopaths combined with paid protesters. I mean, this is a well-known tactic of these astroturfed left-wing movements, whether it was the Black Lives Matter movement back in the summer of George Floyd in 2020, whether it's a lot of the pro-Hamas stuff on university campuses here in the U.S. since October 7th, and now we see this. It's not all astroturf. Some of it is genuine grassroots, but a shockingly high percentage of this is totally fabricated from the top on down. Paid protesters continue to be a very real thing there. And a lot of people like this guy, whether they're paid or not, they just get caught up in the noise there. And yeah, they have no freaking idea whatsoever what they're talking about. By the way, this is not a phenomenon limited simply to the left in the United States. The left all across the globe seems to have a problem with actually knowing what they are protesting. I think back to a couple of years ago when Israel, prior to October 7th, was having its whole judicial reform debate there. And a lot of the anti-Netanyahu left-wing protesters there similarly had these street interviews, and they would ask these protesters, so what exactly do you object to when it comes to the proposed judicial reform? They couldn't answer. They literally could not answer other than that we hate Netanyahu. Same thing here. They have no idea what they're protesting other than that they hate Donald Trump. They pick out these individuals. They choose to hate them for nonsensical, personality-driven reasons there, Gabriella, but they have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to actual policy, substantive issues, or anything like that there. Frankly, there was a Supreme Court opinion 10 years ago here in the U.S. where the late, great Justice Anthony Scalia was mocking the cartoonish way that the majority opinion in this case was written. And what he said was that if I were to put words in this order, I would have the sense of shame and self-awareness to hide my head in a bag. And frankly, watching that video that I just watched with you, this protester who has no idea what he's talking about, that same line kind of comes back to me. If I were that person, I would hope that I would have enough sense of shame to hide my head in a bag for a very long time.
100%. And it does just remind me of those pro-Hamas protests that we saw take place in America, around the world. People don't know what river, what sea they're talking about. It's just embarrassing. And that's why these reporters need to go out and actually speak to some of the protesters and find out what on earth they're doing there. They can't even tell us. Now, Kamala Harris is back with a message, which the left-wing media is, of course, describing as powerful. But let's take a listen to her speak at this Leading Women Defined Summit.
Fear has a way of being contagious.
Yeah.
Okay. When one person has fear, it has a way of spreading to those around them and spreading And we are witnessing that, no doubt. But I say this also, my dear friends. Courage is also contagious. Courage is also contagious.
Josh, you inspired?
You know, I'm not sure how tasty that word salad is that you just spat out there, but I would imagine that it does not go down particularly well. I mean, Kamala Harris has to be the cringiest modern phenomenon in all of contemporary American politics. I mean, she has consistently failed upwards every single time of her career, from a local prosecutor in the San Francisco Bay Area to being Attorney General of California to U.S. Senator from California to Vice President of the United States to running as the nominee for president after the bloodless coup of Joe Biden. I mean, she has failed upwards every single time, and I use that choice of words deliberately because she's literally failing upwards. She's not been successful in literally any of the jobs that I just named, yet she continues to get promotion until finally she was stopped, praise be to God, by Donald Trump this past November. The question for Kamala Harris is, will she give it a go again in the year 2028? And the current polling here in the United States shows that if she were to throw her hat into the ring, she probably would be the front runner, which to me indicates that the Democratic Party has learned nothing. They have learned absolutely, positively nothing. You couple what we just heard from Kamala Harris with Barack Obama speaking this past weekend at Hamilton College in upstate New York, a similar quip from Jimmy Carville, the old Clinton advisor, who as recently as a year or two ago was starting to sound a little sober and moderate, and now he's basically comparing Trump to the brown shirts of the Nazis back in the 40s there. I mean, this party has lost their everlasting mind, and they have a long way to go to pull themselves out of the abyss. Frankly, again, to kind of go back to this whole point about hiding your head in a bag, they're not showing the sense of self-awareness there. You got to recognize what you're doing wrong. You got to get over your sense of denial in order to start to get back to the middle there. And I'm not seeing it right now from anyone, from Kamala Harris to Barack Obama or any of these clowns, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely. The left have not learnt their lesson, and neither have the mainstream media. Sonny Hostin on The View believes that there are plenty of Trump voters out there that now wish they got Kamala Harris. Take a look at this.
I bet you there are a lot of people that voted for Trump that wish Kamala Harris
a lot of
was in the
people
White
who
House.
didn't vote.
Josh, if you want fake news, just put on The View.
Yeah. This reminds me of Sonny Hostin a couple of days after the election this past November. She said that the only reason that Donald Trump beat Kamala Harris was due to lingering sexism and racism in America. And at that time, that statement was viewed as so outlandish on the set of The View that it even got Alyssa Farah to kind of shriek up and say, that's not true. That's not right. And Alyssa Farah was the token former Trump White House person there. She's the quote unquote center right person. She's not center right in any sense of the term there. You know, in order to tick her off, you've really gone too far. But I mean, who watches The View at this point? I genuinely wonder what they're actually. I genuinely find myself wondering whenever I see these clips go viral from people like Sonny Hostin, sometimes Joy Behar, or Whoopi Goldberg. I genuinely ask, who in the world is actually watching it? I mean, what kind of ridiculous self-induced echo chamber are the people that are tuning into this absolute drivel that is lacking anything remotely resembling coherent or cogent analysis, anything remotely resembling a single scintilla of sophisticated or intellectual thought there? It's just total absolute garbage. And frankly, if I were the producer, again, to kind of use our theme of our conversation, Gabriella, I would want to hide my head in a bag for a little while because this is just absolute drivel that is going out here on American television.
Yeah, that absolutely sums it up. Senior Editor at Large at Newsweek, Josh Hammer, thank you so much for making the time to speak to us here on Power Hour. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.